Yeah, what do we need to do? We need grass seed, don't we? Do we need grass seed on there? Say hi. Whoa, say hi. Hey, can you tell the people what today is? Say it's seeding day. All right, so we have got a lot of steps in today's video, so this is going to be a quickie. Well, and there's a lot of steps to do. It's gonna take a while, but in terms of the video, we're no BSing around. We are gonna get it in, get it out, and we're gonna spread it everywhere.
That's what she said.
All right, so what we got here is the GCI Turf Blue Heat I'm putting on my back lawn. My front yard is GCI Turf type tall fescue with a little bit of Kentucky bluegrass in there. Essentially the same thing as their cool blue, just a different variety of KBG. And so I'm gonna do this on the back lawn. I am going, I think I'm doing 3 pounds per thousand. Kentucky bluegrass I think is 2 to 4 pounds recommended per 1,000 square feet on bare dirt seeding. I have 2,500 square feet, 10-pound bag. That means I'm going to use 7.5 pounds, and that'll give me 2.5 pounds per 1,000, or it'll give me 2.5 pounds left over to use in case I have any bare areas I need to seed again. In the side yard, I know I've kind of left this up in the air. You guys have been guessing. I'm doing my own blend here. It's Kentucky bluegrass here. I already went ahead and mixed all this up on my own. I sourced these from different places because I found them for a really good price. In here I have Mazama Kentucky bluegrass, Blue Bank Kentucky bluegrass, got Legend Kentucky bluegrass. That's right, Legend. And it is going to be Legend.
Wait for it.
Dairy. That's right, Legend Kentucky bluegrass from Mountain View Seed.
No. Legendary.
So this is going to be a very dark green mix. I'm excited to see how it compares to the GCI blend, but it's also going to be very good with disease and all that other stuff. After I spread this, which I'm doing 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet, I'm going to come back over it and I'm going to mix in some of this evening shade perennial ryegrass. Very, very dark green variety of perennial ryegrass. I wanted to get some perennial rye in here just to see how it does, see how it mixes. And this stuff right here will germinate quicker, and so that'll help hold the Kentucky bluegrass seed in place while it is working to germinate. And so this blend is just going to be very, very dark green. One thing I'm also doing, so that mix is going here in the main section of the side yard, but in that strip up there by the road, I just decided I'm only going to do the Legend Kentucky bluegrass because
It's gonna be legendary.
I've not seen anybody do Legend as a mono stand, and I really want to see how it does. Seed is down, grooved it in, and now pretty soon we are going to be having a patch just like this. But it is time for the next step. Let's talk about peat moss. Next step is actually optional. You do not actually have to do this. When I did my lawn before, I did half with peat moss, half I just did exactly what I just did, grooved it in, and I left it. I will say they both ended up coming in the same, but the peat moss part did germinate and come in faster and thicker right off the bat. That being said, using something like peat moss here, we're just putting a thin layer, 1/8 of an inch to at max 1/4 of an inch. It's just like insurance. What it's gonna do, it's gonna help coat your seed. It's gonna help with seed to soil contact. It's going to help keep your seed from being eaten by the birds. That's not a guarantee, but it will help deter the birds away and keep your seed protected, as well as it's really good for water retention. It'll help hold moisture, as well as you can see a difference in the color of the peat moss when you need to water. And so it's just insurance. It's just helping you feel better, like you did something a little more. Now you could spread this by hand. It's easy to do. You just take a little bit. Now you could spread this by hand. All you're gonna do is you're gonna take a big glob of it. You're gonna spread it in your hands and spread it out like that. You're gonna get messy. It's gonna take you a while, but it's definitely doable. You can get something like this. Peat moss spreader. This is a peat moss spreader made by Lanzi. It has this handle on it so you can actually push it like this, or this one's 48 inches wide, and you can actually take this off and you can hook it to something and tow it behind. This one's 24 inches, so it's half that size. Again, it has the handle you can push. This one right here you cannot tow, so this is more for smaller yards or smaller sections that you're gonna do. The bigger one over there, Big Daddy, is more for bigger yards, bigger areas. If you're interested in checking out these peat moss spreaders right here, they are gonna come very handy. I am really excited actually to see how far a bag of peat moss goes in one of those. I think I can fit one bag in this, 2 bags in that one over there. I'll leave a link down below if you wanna check these out. With that, let's get to spreading. All right, so if you can see this, one bag actually covered a good chunk of this section, probably a third of this section right here. And if I had done this by hand, I probably would have gotten way over there, and it went all the way over this way. And another thing I want to say is that in this thing right here, it kind of collects all the big chunks. If you see all this mulch in here, it let all the fine powder, which is what I want, and it collects all the big chunks. So you could use this for topsoil, you could use this for compost, and it'll let all the fine particles go through the grate, and it'll collect all the big stuff. Very nice. All right, so peat moss is down. You can probably see this. I actually didn't do the entire backyard. I did the perimeter, and then I left the center because I want to see how that does. The entire side yard is done with the peat moss. I cannot even tell you how much easier it was using these right here. This is the first time I've ever used these, and it probably saved 10 times the amount of time. I will say I lied. I'm sorry. The big one, I said 2 bags. That's actually just a little over 1 bag of the 2.2 cubic feet peat moss, and then just over half a bag. The small one, definitely, I mean, obviously, definitely easier to maneuver, turn around, all that. But the big one, like I said, you can push it, but it's intended to be pulled behind. So a smaller yard, I definitely recommend going with the smaller one, but this bigger one right here is going to definitely come in handy at my next lawn. If you can see, the front strip out there actually has 0 peat moss on it because I'm going with something a little different. I'm gonna go with this pit moss here. If you have not heard of this was on Shark Tank, which is very cool. I am trying this out. It replaces peat moss, but it's made from a little bit different stuff. It's like recycled material. I'll leave a link down below if you want to check this stuff out and learn more about it. It's supposed to be more environmentally friendly and all that stuff. So I'm going with that on the front because I want to see how that does compared to the peat moss. Kind of reminds me of the Patch Master. It's like newspaper and stuff. Next and final step for the seeding process, fert time. So when it comes to fertilizing new grass seeds specifically, there's so many different ways you can go. There's a lot of confusion. I know if you look You're going to see tons of different fertilizers. You could go with a starter fertilizer. If you are going to get a starter fertilizer, the #1 granular fertilizer, if that's what you want, is, in my opinion, Scott's starter with weed preventer in it. That is going to feed your new grass. It's also going to prevent, or not prevent, but once weeds do germinate in there, it's going to kill them, turn them white and kill them. And I've used it before with great success. I think it is unbelievable. It's a little expensive, but for what you're getting with it, I think it is definitely worth the price. You could also get something else labeled as starter fertilizer. You could get an even number fertilizer, like a 12-12-12. The main thing we want here is something with the middle number that is going to help the roots. If you want something like a liquid, you could go with the Next Green Pop. You could do Simple On Solutions. I'm going with the Lawn Star Starter Lawn Star Starter Fertilizer right here. I've used this before, and it worked really well. Yeah, I am a big believer in using something that you already have. You don't have to go out and get something as long as it fits the category that you're wanting, and in this case, something with the middle number is perfect. Along with this, I'm also going to add in the tank Tenacity. Tenacity is the same thing that's in that Scott's starter fertilizer with weed preventer. Just like that, this is going to help prevent weeds from growing in your new grass. Now, just like the peat moss being a step that you don't have to do, you can still see results, but it's just that little bit of insurance. It just helps you out. It helps you be at peace knowing that you did everything you could. I'm actually not going to use any of this stuff. I'm using the starter fertilizer and the Tenacity to help prevent the weeds, and that is it, because I want to show you that you don't have to have this stuff to have good results. But if you have these things, or you just want that little bit of insurance, a little bit of help you out there. One thing I would recommend, propiconazole. This is a fungicide. One issue with watering grass seed as much as we have to do is that sometimes you can see some rot in there, some disease, as well as propiconazole has been shown to actually help with seed germination. The next thing that I have actually tested out on seed and it's helped is Hydrotane. This is going to help pull moisture out of the air, especially if you have to miss a watering, something happens. This is definitely some insurance there for you to help keep your seed moist and rocking and rolling. Then on down the line here, I've got some micronutrients. This is Lawn Star's Microbio. Again, just micronutrients are going to help with the soil, help with all that good stuff. And then some humic acid and other things like that. Like I said, not absolutely necessary, but just that little bit of just kind of feel good medicine there. Helps keep your soil just banging, those roots just ready to rage as soon as that grass seed germinates. But I am going starter fertilizer, Tenacity. Let's get it on. Looks like Mountain Dew, or like Surge. Anybody ever have Surge? Leave a comment down below. That is it. We are done. Now it is time to water. Because if you don't water, all this is pretty much for nothing. You gotta water. And so I know I'm gonna get a lot of questions on watering new grass. I know I'm gonna get questions on when to fertilize, when to mow, probably when to spray Tenacity again. I'm gonna have videos on all that, but for now, I'm going to set my sprinklers to water this in, and then I'm going to probably run 3 times a day, about 7 minutes, and then I may have to adjust from there. And I will talk about that in the upcoming watering video. But now, all it is time to sit back, relax, let the sprinklers run, and just enjoy it. So, thank you guys for watching. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already to watch the rest of these and to see how this comes in. I'm very excited to see how the different spots and different grasses come in and how they do. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Yeah. Oh, you picking up my acorns? Thank you. Okay, go get some more. Go get another one.